Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's Pick a Read. The three decks I'm going to use this week are The Secret Language of Colored Cards by Anna Segal, Bonfire Tarot by Gabby Angus West, and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. Which is, I hope there's not a glare for you. There's a glare for me, so it's hard for me to read that. Alright, those are the three decks we're going to use. Let's go ahead and move things around a little bit. Okay, actually I want to keep this here. Not that you can see that, but that's okay. I haven't done the decks yet, so let's get them out here. Try to get them in view of the camera here so you can see them all. And while I'm putting these out, you might want to, take a look at them, decide what you want to choose. Oh, I thought it was done. Not done. I want something at the bottom too. Okay. I think we're done with these. That's a lot of color cards out there. Alright, let's see what we got here for this deck now. Okay, and got one more deck to do here. But for some reason we're still kind of shuffling it up, which is fine. I think that's it. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Oh, gotta put the messages on. I'm not quite there yet. Alright, so we got 5 messages. And here's the stones we're going to be using, which I actually should straighten up these piles before I do that so you can... As long as I have them in frame, I think we're good, but true to me, I'm all over the place with these. Okay, so what we'll do, I want to do the Selenite first, that's this one. The second one we'll do is the Lapis Lazuli. The third one we'll do the Hematite Heart. The fourth one is the Rainbow Hematite. So we got 2 Hematites, just one's rainbow and one's not, which they are different, so that's cool. And the last one will be, I thought it was Fluorite, but some people are telling me it's green Calcite, so I'm going to go with the Fluorite for now, but I'm going to have to research it a little deeper because I realized a couple of people did say that recently and I wanted to look it up a little bit. Just dawned on me that I hadn't yet. Alright, so the first one, Selenite. Selenite, I think this is a beautiful stone. This is a stone that sometimes you put with other stones to clear them. It's very good for positive energy. It emanates positive energy, like it's very, very strong. This is also something, which I'll just share this because I found this the hard way. If you're around somebody who is determined to be in a bad mood, if you bring this stone close to them, it's liable to really aggravate them even further. So it doesn't automatically put people in a good mood. It does emanate a lot of positive energy, but if you're going towards somebody who has just decided they will not be in a good mood, they do not want to be, it will just make them more aggravated than anything else, just so you know. So let's get into this. I think that's interesting. I want to flip it like this. What are we getting? Got a lot of upside down cards here. So, alright, so the question of this one was, will things change soon? Okay, which I should have said before, but we're here now. It's probably I should have put it in the title. So you get a lot of effort. And you got the Knight of Swords, which I see a lot of effort and a lot of communication trying to keep things where they are. In fact, I feel when you're working or whatever situation you're dealing with, you're getting support. It seems like you're getting some support here anyway. Or am I wrong? Depends on your situation. Well, the Knight of Swords is saying that there's a lot of communication, and sometimes that communication even though it's there, you might be hearing one thing and something else might be happening on the other side of the mouth there is what I'm getting. So somebody might be telling you, yeah, let's keep going, and they're praising you for your effort, but meanwhile, they're trying to end the situation in their own way. They're trying to find an easy out without, ruffling your feathers. Will the situation change soon? For this one, I kind of think it will, especially when you got this down here, which this says leave now. If you can't read that, I apologize. The brown here reversed, I mean, I know that there's a little plant here, but what I'm getting here is it's kind of like failed crops is what I'm getting. But the reason is I feel like somebody wanted it to end. So if you're wondering if this is going to change soon, yes. The situation is going to fail, but I feel like, especially with this touching the Knight of Swords, other people are doing lip service, but I feel like they might be saying one thing to your face and another thing to someone else. So I feel like other people are getting this to end. And what I'm getting here with the leave now is I don't feel that's for you. I feel like this, once it starts going south, whoever this is doing the double duty lip service here, they're going to be gone. They're going to be like, I need to go. I am finished. I don't want to be a part of this. For better, for worse, for good, for bad, whatever it is, they've just decided they're done. They're out. When this starts to fail, they're out and they want to be. So what they're also saying with this change here, because it is going to change soon, is what they're saying. Lighten up is the white here. I'm getting like this is actually not bad for you. This might actually clear someone out of your life that maybe is not so good for you. That leave now, when it kind of doubles over, like even though they might be physically going, like bye-bye, maybe it's good for you too. Maybe you need to leave it in the past. Maybe when this person leaves, leave them in the past and let that stay. The white is kind of a purification. It's kind of like, it may feel a little cold, especially I'm getting that kind of snow feel. I think this is a feather technically. Yes, that's a feather on there. But I'm getting kind of a snow feel. Like the snow can be very purifying. It can freeze things. It can, chill it right out. Just numb yourself to the situation. I feel like that's what they're saying. Because there's going to be no more effort towards making this work. And there's no answers to find after this. That's why seek is upside down. There's no more answers to find with it. They're saying, just see this for the blessing that it is. Let this person walk out of your life and just let it go. The white light here, the white lighten up, it's kind of like a white light. It's kind of like the snow. Just let it blow away. Let it get rid of it. It's too cold. It doesn't serve you. Just go numb to it for now and let it go. And when I say numb to it for now, I do feel like later on you'll probably have to deal with these feelings in one respect or another. But for now, they're saying just let it go. You got the Selenite stone, which is kind of like, what I'm also getting is kind of like you can purify the situation, but like I said in the beginning, if somebody else has already determined what they're going to do, this isn't a stone, or this isn't an energy that can control somebody, but if you try to get somebody to do something they don't want to do, that can be very aggravating. So they're like this, if you try to go at this and try to change this person's mind or change their trajectory, you're going to come up against a lot of adversity and probably some arguments. So they're saying just see it for what it is, let it be the blessing it can be, and let it move on. That's what we got for that. So I'm going to let that be. All right, so that's the first one. That's actually, I feel like that one went through pretty well. The energy is feeling fairly good there. I don't know how you feel about the message, but we're going to let it go with that. All right, let's find the next one. I got to get these cards out of the way, excuse me. Okay, the next one is the Lapis Lazuli. I like this stone a lot. I say this all the time when I use this stone. There's a little gray stripe in it, which I think is really, really pretty. And I think that has a lot to do with grounded communication. You'll notice there's a line there. It's kind of like divide your thoughts. What's good and what's not good. You'll notice one side is smaller than the other. If you're dividing that, one side is less than the other. So there's less of something than the other. But like when you're going to communicate, think about what you want to say and make sure it's going to actually serve you and the situation. Although now you're also getting stick to your guns, which that could still work. That's still good. Ooh, that's a good card. I'm just going to go ahead and judge that right off the bat. Alright, this is how we want these. We also want them all in frame if we can do that. Let's do that. Okay. So, will things change soon? You're coming in with the Sun card, which feels like a really good time. Like, people are getting along. I'm getting a lot of camaraderie, a lot of like, let's just enjoy what's going on. It feels very busy. It feels also like some things have gone a little bit. There's things going on, even though this is the Sun card that I'm getting. There are definitely things here that are not very good. There's some things that are not going. There's some things that are not very good going on. But with the Sun card, I feel like people are picking up the mess. People are taking care of each other, even though there's some things that aren't right. I feel other people taking care of the slack, helping other people out. There's definitely something here that's not right, that something's not going right, but I feel other people, like people helping each other out, feels like the Sun card here. I've seen the Sun card work that way before. Even though the situation may not be the best, it's people working together the best they can, even though they might not get along normally, and making something work out. That's what I'm feeling here. So this is a good card. It definitely is a good card, but I'm getting that little tinge there, that little twist of like things might not be the best, but people are working together and things seem very well. And I feel like that's probably why you're coming to this. Will things change soon? Wondering like, how much longer can this last? Like there's certain elements, certain people working together that really don't match or don't really get along. And you're starting to question like, how long before this falls apart? How long before this backlashes or causes some type of, calamity? So what we got coming in here next, the next part here, like this is ushering it in. You got the crayon reversed, you got the gray right side up. Now, is that a leader? Learn to scan your body. Okay, that's fine. I'm not feeling this here. I'm kind of getting something else from this one. I feel like there's some good, there's some bad going on here. I feel like this is kind of the mixing of the energy. I feel that Sun card pulling in the environment. Like there's some good things going on here and some not good things. It's like the dark and the light coming together, making the gray, and some bright spots here with the white and some dark spots here with the dark. This card upside down, this kind of makes me feel like this could be a cheapening of experiences. And what they're saying with the Lapis Lazuli is, because I feel this card, the way, it does say build your confidence, which makes sense to me, but I am kind of getting a feeling here of just kind of saying you like something more than you actually do. And I feel like the Lapis Lazuli, especially with that twinge of gray in there, the grayish silver, gold going on in there, there's a twinge of kind of like, you know what, it's okay to try to get along and it's okay to try to get people to work together well, but be honest, ground what you're saying, and I feel like some of you are saying, well, I am honest, I'm just, leaving some things out that I don't like. They're saying ground this just a little bit more. Think about what you're saying. Don't play it off as too happy, because I feel like even though you might not be technically fibbing in any way, you might be playing it off in a better way than it actually is, or a better way than you feel. Like it's one of those things where you get a gift and you're like, oh my God, I love this. And in truth, you're like, you hate it. You know what I mean? So you're trying to be gracious and grateful, but when you really don't like something, because what happens when you're really grateful for something you didn't want, you get more of it. So you got to be careful with that. And I feel like that's what they're saying here. If you're actually grateful or you come off like you like something and you really don't be surprised when you get more of it. So be careful there. Stick to your guns as saying, you know what, you want people to get along, you want best foot forward, that's great. You don't have to be pessimistic. They're just saying, don't play it up that it's better than what it is. That's all they're saying. Just don't play it up to be better than what it is. You'll be okay. Still being on the positive front, that's cool. That's great. Do that. That's cool. Just don't play it up better than what you really feel. Because what we have coming forward is you got change your focus and you got the sacral chakra. What's going on here, you're going to bring more in. So they're warning you, if you really play up something that you like it and you really, really don't, be careful because you're going to get more of that. But if you just kind of like say, I really don't like these toe socks, but I'm glad I have them because they do keep me warm. So having one pair is a good thing. So I'm glad to have one pair. And maybe this will give me a chance to give them a try, give them a fair shake. So I'm thankful you gave them to me. But I'm glad it's just one. I'm going to use this one pair to see if I can really get into them. But I'm glad I have just one pair. One pair suits me fine. That's being gracious. That's being thankful. That's giving people a thank you for what they've done for you. But also highlighting, like, I didn't think I'd really like these, but you know what? I'm glad I have one pair. Because now I have one pair I'm going to try out. Maybe I'm going to try it out on the weekends. That way if it bothers me and I don't like them, hey, I just don't have to wear them that long. But if I find out I do like them, I'll let you know. But I'm glad I have this chance to really find out. I have a chance now that I'll get to test a pair and find out what I really think. I really didn't think I'd like them, but who knows? I might, and I'm glad I have this chance to find out. You know what I mean? Where you're putting it out there with, hey, I'm glad you gave this to me. I'm thankful for what you gave me. I really don't need any more of this, but I'm thankful for what you gave me because I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see if it works for me. This way you're setting it up like, hey, I'm thankful you gave that to me, but don't give me any more. I hope this is coming across right, because that's what I'm trying to get out here. Because what they're saying is change your focus with the sacral chakra. What you're doing here, the sacral chakra is going to pull in more. The sacral chakra card, that is what that's telling me. It's like you're going to be established. Like, so, again, if you get those toe socks and you really don't like them, and you're like, oh my God, I love toe socks. I could have 50 pair and I'd be so happy. Guess what you're going to get? You're going to get 50 pair of toe socks. So just think about that. So, and the toe socks, in case people don't know what I'm talking about, it's like, you know when you have your toes and then there's a piece of the sock that goes over every piece of the toe. I just think they're funny, but I've never owned a pair. I hear they're very warm and comfortable, so just using it as an example. So what they're saying here is that if you do overplay this, you're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to come forward with how you really feel, or else you're just gonna keep getting these toe socks that you don't want. So just keep that in mind, and you could be fine. Because they're not going to change. You're going to get more of this energy coming through. I feel that sun card's still pulling through here. I don't see it changing soon. But it's just kind of one of those things where you want best effort forward. You want to keep things going in a positive note, and that's cool. It's just like, just don't play something up more than you really feel. That's the whole thing. If you want to keep this sun card going, just don't play it up farther than what you already feel. I think we're good there. All right. In the spirit of beating that to death, which I feel I have, I think we're going to let that go. Let's go on to the next one. Let me get these out of the way for you. There was only one tarot card in that. That's fine. All right, we got the Hematite. The Hematite Heart. And let me just put these out before I go too far. I think we want these like this for some reason. That needs to go forward, and that needs to go like that. Okay, and that we'll leave there. Now the Hematite Heart. Hematite is usually used for grounding. I've personally found this a double-edged sword. Hematite, that is. It can bring you down. It can actually stabilize, but I have seen if it's overused, it can make you very stubborn and very, like, overly grounded. How do I put this? It's like it can really kind of ground you too much, which I didn't realize that was a thing until it happened to me a few years back. It can put you kind of, I don't want to say in a bad mood, but very stubborn, like I'm not changing direction, I'm not really wanting to hear other things, this is how it is, things are good the way they are, I don't want them to change type feel. I have found that. So there may be people out there who leave comments below, and go ahead and read those because they might find differently, but I've noticed it affect me that way. So I'm just going to put that out there. So it's kind of like with the best efforts, if you overdo it, you could end up, a little resistant to a needed change is all I'm saying. So, and it is a heart shape, which, typically talks about love. We'll find out soon. All right, so who is selling this? Who is selling you this? Okay. Oh, boy. Who is selling you this? This is... We'll find out where we're going with this. He's gonna... Nope, there's one upside down. Aha! Only one upside down. That's okay. Who is selling you this? Can you see those? I hope you can see all these. We're going to try to move them over so you can see them a little better. There we go. Now, clarity of belief leading into this, the Three of Pentacles. Nope, the Hermit. Ah, the Hermit with the flow right below it. This bottom part is usually the environment, usually. So what I'm seeing here is, when it comes to will things change soon, I'm getting it's kind of like honing the situation and deciding, like, is this really what I want? But not just you. It's whoever else is involved. So if it's a work situation, for example, and this is a unit situation, like you and the rest of your unit are coming together and kind of figuring out, do you want to keep it going the way it's been going, or does it need to change? With the question that's been posed for this pick-a-read, will things change soon, doesn't mean things are good or things are not good right now. Things could just be very benign and on the level, but it could be a situation where, we need to spice this up and get a little bit more joy here, or, we need to take a risk and see if we can make things a little different. So I'm getting like whatever the situation is, you and whoever else the situation is connecting with, you're coming to terms with what you really want from the situation. And if you actually agree that you both feel, you and whoever, or you and whom else ever, there could be more than one, of course. Do you all see eye to eye, or do you have different ideas about what things should happen here? Now, who is selling you this is coming in right above the Hermit, and I'm noticing flow right below this, which this really, I don't like that feel. It says flow here, just in case you wanted to see it. I don't like how this feels, because what I'm getting is somebody may not agree with you, but they're trying to sell it off like they do. This can also go both ways, because I know that there's a lot of us, and I don't know how often I do this, but once in a while I definitely have to do this. You just kind of go along with the situation. I know I must have done this. I don't know why nothing's popping in my head right now, but one of those things where people are just kind of getting along, and they want to go forward with something, and you really don't want to, but you're like, I don't want to be the one, I don't want to be the naysayer, I don't want to be the wet blanket, and everybody else wants it, so I guess I could just suck it up and deal with it. So I'll just act like I like it, even though I don't like it. It's kind of like one of those things, kind of like, for example, I rarely eat seafood, not very much, just for argument's sake. So everybody's together and they're like, let's go to the seafood place, and it's just strictly seafood. And it would be like me saying, oh, okay, yeah, I'd love to have some of that. I mean, I do eat some things, but not much. But me just kind of like getting overly excited and like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do this. Like me being a little bit ridiculous about it, and people looking at me with the who's selling you this, kind of like, we know you don't really like seafood that much, so you could calm down. Like that's the kind of energy we got going on here. Like that would be my sister, especially. I want to say she would be like, you don't really like seafood, so I don't understand what that attitude's about. I don't understand why you're getting so excited. So it's either you or the other side is just being too agreeable and acting like they like something that they really don't. If you're not doing it, it's probably happening on the other side. Or if you're thinking, maybe I'm agreeing to something that I really don't want to agree to, they're kind of like saying, hey, think about what you're agreeing to, because there's no need to be overly agreeing. You got solar plexus chakra on your side. They're saying you got to honor what you really feel and what you really think. So if you are selling it, you're just trying to get along, best efforts, like it's not a big deal, might as well just go along with it. They're saying like, no, this goes better if you honor your true voice. If you don't want to be a part of this, or you really don't like this, the better outcome happens by you honoring your true feelings. You got to be loyal to yourself. Solar plexus, like that's your God center. That's like goddess or God center, the combination of the two, in my opinion, is where they're balanced. And it's just kind of looking at this like, what do I really want? What do I really feel? Am I really being loyal to myself, or am I selling myself out just so other people can be happy? The Hematite Heart is saying here, bring yourself to ground zero here. What do you really want? Like, you definitely don't want to overdo it and become, it's about me. This is not working for me. Everything has to work for me. Granted, there's a little bit of give and take. Granted, there is definitely a little bit of give and take here. But it shouldn't be something to where you get a part of this and you're just like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. Like for me, with the seafood stuff, like, just to be fair, some seafood places, the scent is so overwhelming that it turns my stomach, and I'm just like, I lose my appetite. So, for example, doing the same thing, me going to this restaurant saying, oh yeah, let's do it. Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. And then getting there and then getting a nice good whiff or two of some fish and going, oh my gosh, I don't really want to eat anything now. I don't even want to drink my water because I have it in my head that even the water tastes like fish. I just can't do it. So you know what I mean? You don't want to get to that point where you're just going to really hate what you're a part of because you really didn't want to be a part of it to begin with. You didn't maybe expect it to go that way, but that's where it could be heading. Now, the way this is originally set up is like in efforts. I feel like this is an efforts for you to get along. There's a danger of you agreeing with something that you really don't want, and that other people are going to be really happy. That magenta feels very vibrant and happy to me. They're going to be having a good time. They're going to be very happy. The cherries reversed right here. This is telling me that this is going to have a short-lived moment, because the cherries reverse, like, to me it's bowl of cherries, like life's a bowl of cherries. If you dump them out though, or dump them all over the floor and you got to clean them up, The life is a bowl of cherries is now not so fun if you have to clean up the mess, especially when cherries stain and you have to get them off the floor and you're possibly staining your floor. So what I'm getting here from this, you may go along with something just to keep the energy good, to keep the energy positive. And it might go for a very short period where it's good, but it's not going to last long before it falls apart, and it could leave a stain on the situation to where it's like, oh yeah, we remember when so-and-so said that they were into this, and then, you know, they really weren't, and then it just went sour and went bad. The flow here on this side, it feels like this is flowing fine, just to be fair. For whoever picked this, I really kind of have more of an inkling that you're going to agree to something you really don't want to be a part of, and that you're not really going to like it. And I feel like it's going to become obvious, and you're going to kind of withdraw a little bit, and kind of like, that's fine, you do what you want to do, but it's going to backfire. I'm feeling like a backfire going on here. I'm feeling like something that goes good for a little while, it seems to lock in too long, and you want out of it. It's just going to cause a problem, is what I'm getting. If you want this situation to continue on a positive note, they're saying this. The Hematite Heart is saying, ground yourself. Get to your ground zero. What do you want? Do you really like this? You know, if you really, for example, people want to go, again, with the fish thing. They want to go have fish, blah, 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 blah. You can definitely find a place where there's fish and something you would like, where you're not going to be beat to death with a fish odor. For example, I don't know. That's just where I'm going with it because it's what's popping in my head. I don't know why there's a Red Lobster around here, and it's not too bad. They keep it quite clean, and I don't notice the smells. And they have some other dishes besides fish. They also have some fish dishes. There's a salmon dish I like there. I don't know why I'm going into that, but that's my point, though, that I can go to Red Lobster because the one locally, it's not bad. I have been to others that had a very strong fish smell, but the one local to me isn't. So there's a compromise here that can be met. That's what they're saying. There's a compromise here that you can find to where everybody can be happy, including you. You have to be happy too. You'll notice here there's this break here. You know what I mean? So from the moment this is decided to this actually coming in and actually happening, it happens for the people around you first, and then you're added in after. You don't want to end up in a part of something that you really don't want to be a part of, especially later on down the road. What if 3 or 4 weeks goes by and then you're like, oh, that's right, I said I'd do that. And then you're dreading it. And then, you know, it's not fun. Because if you're not having fun, you really can't fake it as much as what I'm getting at this point. It's too far down the line. People know that. It just falls apart. If you want this to be a good situation and you want to, like, turn this around, you got to honor your heart. You got to honor what you really feel. All right, I think we're good with that one. All right, let's go into the next one. I'm noticing like the energy is starting to want to rush. I'm wondering what that's about, so I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit as I take a sip of coffee. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. If you want to calm down, have coffee. Yeah, that's the way you do that. Definitely. All right, so this is all you, is what I'm getting. And this is how it starts, beginning to end. This is where you're starting, this is where it's going to end up, and this is your connection to it, and how you're connecting the dots. The rainbow hematite, I really do feel like this is helping you get control of yourself. I have seen it referenced as trying to get control over someone else. I a lot of times have found that this is attractive to people who feel like they've lost control or somebody else is pulling the strings and controlling them. And this can be you getting control of yourself again, returning to getting your own control back, control of yourself back. Definitely take that with a grain of salt and decide for yourself, but this is definitely about getting your power back. I'm kind of feeling that already. So like, we want that to happen. And I think these should be all face up. What do we got here? I think we want these all face up. So we're going to keep these like this just to see how this goes. And if the energy flows, I think we're good. All right, so the situation where you're starting, and it says, will things change soon? I'm noticing this card reversed. And I know it says jade, and that's great. But I'm seeing here, it's kind of like looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. My first thought is the situation, it's trying to be happy with something that's just feeling like it's going on for a long time. It's kind of, it's not that bad, but I feel like it's just kind of like got a long distance feel to it. Like going out there, going on for the longest time. Feeling like the situation isn't bad, but it's kind of feeling like you're locked in or tied into it. Kind of like you've gotten this far and I just would kind of like to step off the ride for a while, and it's in full swing and you're like, well, I guess I can't really get off until it's over, so I guess I have to wait it out. It's not really overly negative. It's just kind of like drawn out and too long. It's just kind of going on for too long. Even though it's not a bad situation, it's going on for too long is what I'm getting. And this might be why this rainbow hematite is pulling in here. Kind of feeling like you don't have the power to get out of something. Even though it's not bad, you kind of just would like to get off. It's kind of like, I've been at the fair long enough. I like to tilt-a-whirl, but you know what? I've tilted and whirled enough. I'd like to whirl right on out of this. Thank you. It's good. Somebody else can take a turn. I'd like to give up my seat and pass it along. I'm just kind of good. And I'm seeing the King of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and then the Rebuild pop in here because you do want, I feel like it's a good situation, and you might even feel guilty for trying to get out of it because it is a good situation, but you're like, you know, I've had my fill. It's kind of like being at the carnival again. Like, it's fun. You like to do it for a few hours, but after a while, a lot of people anyway are kind of like, you know, that was good, but now I want to go home and watch a movie, or I just want to sit down and have a quiet dinner, or just maybe go read a book and do something quiet for a while, or maybe just go hang out with somebody else. Maybe I'll go to the beach. But you're just kind of like, that type of fun was good for a while, but now I want to move on to something else. And you got the King of Cups here telling me that you do see it as a good situation. You're finished with it. So you get the Queen of Wands coming in next. They're like saying, for you to reclaim your power, you'll notice this is right above the rainbow hematite. I found it. In other words, you found something else you want to do. You're going to have to step out. And I'm getting this kind of like break some eggs to make the omelet type feel here. Somebody might not be happy with you for walking on. The thing is, I don't think it's that bad. But you know what? Sometimes you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. So I'm feeling that with the rebuild. Like, it's time. You found what you want to do. You found where you want to go. They're saying step out of it. If you want things to change and you're just kind of like, this isn't a bad situation, but I don't want to do it anymore, step out of it. When you find what you want, just step out of it. You have here the auburn, which is, it says ground yourself. I'm actually feeling like, you'll notice the contrast. They're both trees. These are upside down. These are right side up. That's true. But these are very green, and these look like they're more in the fall feeling. I'm getting like this fall, like home feeling, like enjoying time with yourself, enjoying what you want to do. Fall to me seems more of an introspective time, personally. Fall is when, you know, Samhain comes in, and you go within, you hunker down for the winter, you prepare for the winter. That's kind of the feel I'm getting here. So I'm getting here, this is going to bring you more at peace with yourself. You might actually end up stepping away from somebody for a while because somebody's unhappy with you, that you're not sticking in with it the way they want you to. And you may take some time off from them, and that's fine, because I feel you're going within, and I feel like you're strengthening. Fall and winter are times when, you know, the earth strengthens, or plants strengthen. Especially trees. Trees get stronger than winter. I don't remember why, but I know they do. Don't remember why. But, you know, they get ready for that next season coming in, and I feel like this is your recharge moment. This is important for you to have time to recharge. Yes, it's good, but one of the reasons you might have wanted out of this situation is because you're getting that intuitive knowing that, you know, you have something else coming up soon. You need to step back so you can recharge your batteries, so that way you can be ready for the next round, whatever that next round may be. So will it change soon? It can. It can if you assertive, you get assertive and you get out of it. Yeah, you may be upsetting some people, but this is getting your strength back. This is getting your control back of your life. And they're saying this is better for you. They're saying if you're having the inkling to do it, do it. It'll be fine. This person will get over it, and you'll feel a lot better. You'll be a lot stronger from it. All right, I think that's good. So let's pick up that one. We got one more to do. One more to do. What is the last one? The last one is, I thought it was fluorite. Some people say it's green calcite. I have to look that up. So I'm probably going to put it in the bottom as fluorite, but I definitely have to look it up. I thought I did though, but maybe I didn't. So for those of you who chose this, yeah, like 3 cards, like the red and purple, which are very complementary, and they go with the burgundy too. Okay, so they're covering the darkest fears. Lovely friend. That's very interesting. Let's see where that goes. So the fluorite that I use it as, I've always connected to this stone, at least as long as I've had it, as a grounding, not grounding, a sharpening of senses, a focus. There we go. Let's try, James. An energy to focus. It can be very good business-wise. It get a very technical feel to it. I give you that. But like gaining your focus, focusing on what you really want, sharpening up what's really in front of you, getting that camera lens right on point, like this is what I'm actually looking at, precisely what I need to see, that type of feel. Now I'm actually going to move this over to the side so we don't have that in there because I don't feel like I want that in there. But because I think there should be an open spot here. Now, the focus here is telling me there's like this open spot here. I feel like there's this open spot. You got the 3 of Swords that's reversed. You got the challenging times reversed. So I feel like this is a situation where, will things change soon? It's almost like you had a problem in the past, and that's been removed. It feels like with challenging times, especially upside down, it feels like it's been completely removed. And the 3 of Swords reversed, it's like the heartbreak has been removed too. It's like it's been a solved issue. But the reason that we're using these cards to show this coming in is because there's kind of a vacancy, but that's where the vacancy comes from. In the past, there was heartbreak. In the past, there was some challenging times. Both of those have left the situation, but now that they're gone, there's a void left over from, what they were. Now, I'm getting Aqua come in here. This is a very fun card in my opinion. It says, express peace and calm. I kind of get more of a fun, like enjoying yourself, but more of a tranquil, leisurely, like, hanging out at the pool kind of feel. But it can be a little bit more fun. I feel like it's more fun. It's got more energy to it than the description, but, take it for what you want. Basically, it's telling me you're ready to get into something. You're ready to get, fill this void, ready to get out there and fill what's lacking. Whatever it was that broke your heart, that had some challenging times, you're ready to find something better. You seem to have an optimistic thought of kind of like, if it was work, for example, that job that moved on that was rough, that was that job. But I could go into something else and be much, much happier. I can find a better company, a better situation, a better vocation. Even if this is saying something like maybe it was a romance. Maybe somebody literally broke your heart, or maybe you broke their heart. And it was very hard after that to move on from it. Maybe it was a very rough breakup. It's over now. And now that it's over and that's settled, now it's time for me to find someone else. Maybe it's time for me to give it a shot again and see what else is out there. But there's an optimistic attitude with this card I'm feeling right here. Now, what you're coming into, where this is going, will things change soon? You got burgundy upside down. You got ruby up, right side up, indigo, red, and then you got, what's this, darkest fears? Darkest fears. Now, darkest fears I feel like is a self-explanatory card, but what I'm already getting is kind of like the heartbreak you moved on from coming back in. That's your darkest fears. That's what you're afraid of. So I feel like you're stepping into this situation. You're trying to stay on point with it. You're trying not to get overexcited. When I'm seeing the burgundy upside down, especially up here on your side, like you're trying to stay focused. You're trying to like keep an air of reality in here. And you're just kind of like, I don't want to run away with it. I don't want to get a little crazy with it. I want to just stay and see it for what it really is and see if there's something really to have here, because I don't want to end up returning back to this 3 of Swords. I just got rid of that. I don't want it to come back. Darkest fears again coming in. And what I feel you're coming into, you got these 3 cards. You got ruby, indigo, and you got red. Ruby says rejuvenate your body. Indigo says improve your vision. And red says free yourself from pain. Which actually I kind of like these for this, because I'm getting a lot of heartfelt passion, but I'm getting a lot of need to like stabilize the situation. That indigo, especially when indigo is usually the color I want to say is used for third eye, the third eye chakra. It's kind of like trying to see in between the lines, trying to see where things are going, trying to have that heads up. Like, where are things headed? Where am I going? And having that red and that ruby is kind of like having that survival instinct. Like, I need to make sure I don't end up back where I was again. No matter where you came from, whatever that heartbreak was, I feel like what they're saying is that you're fearing the heartbreak. Don't create more heartbreak through fearing it. Truly let it go. I feel like you're really nervous that you're going to repeat a situation with someone else or something else or some different location. For example, if you left a job and it was rough, you're afraid you're going to get into another job that is soon to become rough. I don't feel like that's going to happen, but they're saying don't make this a self-fulfilling prophecy. Give things a fair shot. Give things a fair shot, but like pull out of the ruby color. Maybe lighten it up into a little more of an orange, the sacral chakra kind of feeling, kind of like find what it is you enjoy. You don't have to go hog wild. I understand with the burgundy upside down, you don't want to like lose control and see things more optimistic than they really are. But lovely friend here is saying, see it in a very friendly energy. Go towards what you like, accentuate what you like, and just hold on to the good parts and just try to accentuate that. And just move forward slowly. Moving forward slowly is fine. I don't see the situation repeating for most of you, but I feel a lot of fear. And I feel like what they're saying is you could elongate your pain by holding on to that, or you could call something back in to replace that pain and bring more pain in. You don't want to do that either. So they're saying lighten up a little bit because you have to go forward. You have to give things a shot. You definitely want to keep it sober and on point, and I understand that. You want to see things crystal clear the way they really are. That makes sense. But they're saying have some fun with it. If it's like you're going into a relationship, just start off as friends. Nobody says you have to jump right into a romance. Just start as friends. Hang out for a while as friends. If they're impatient and they move on, then that wasn't the right one for you. Likewise with the work situation. Like when you get involved with it, if you're the type of person that jumps in both feet and you get right into it and you get all excited about things, maybe this time slowly get involved. Just have a friendly energy. Get to know people first. Just change the way you do things. Go into it with a more friendly atmosphere. With the work thing, maybe I should clear that up a little bit because I know people like this, and I've done it myself, where you start a new job and you're really excited and you want to make a good impression. So, for example, if they're doing a class and teaching you how to use the systems, teaching you how this process works and how that process works, and like I said, I've done this myself. I've known a few people who have done this. For example, on your lunch and after work, you're reviewing everything you've learned so you have it right down pat. You're constantly trying to get ahead of the situation so you know what's going on before it happens. You're just trying to be as helpful as possible so you can show that you're really interested. They're saying just pull that back. Don't do that energy. This time, just go along with everybody else. Enjoy the process. Do your best to learn when it's time to learn, but don't overdo it. Don't burn yourself out. Don't be the you don't have to be the star of the class. Just enjoy the situation. Get to know people instead seeing how other people are doing. Get to know other people. Keep focused, of course, but just go into it slower. Enjoy it more. The lovely friend is telling me make some friends. If you're getting into a new work situation, make some friends that will change this whole situation. Make some friends right off the bat. Make it about work as appropriately as it needs to, but making friends also, strengthens your bond to that work. So do that too. Just, make it a more friendly atmosphere for yourself. Make it more relaxed. Enjoy things more. The lovely friend is telling me enjoy this more. If you can make a friend along the way, do the friend thing. I think that's self-explanatory. I just feel like I'm saying it in two different ways, so it might sound a little confusing. So just to reiterate one last time, if you're going towards a love or a romance relationship, don't jump right into like full-blown romance. Tell this person you want to become their friend first, and just maybe even put it out there. Like, for the next 2 months, let's just date. And then after 2 months, let's decide where it really is, because I want something that's going to last. And I want to just get to know you. Just if you put that date out there, I've seen people do this before. For the next 2 months, we're just going to date. Let's just date, and then after 2 months, we'll decide where we want to go with this. Takes off a lot of pressure for both of you. Not everybody's into that. True, not everybody is into that. But sometimes that makes things a lot easier, because then the other person doesn't have to wonder, like, do you want to do something about this or don't you? Or you don't feel the pressure to like perform for whatever they want. Make it a friend situation. Take out some of the stress from it. That way you can kind of remove this darkest fears thing, or at least diminish it a little bit. So things can change soon. How's that? For this one, I feel like things can change soon, but they're saying you pull yourself back a little bit. Don't let the darkest fears work you over, because I feel like that's what could actually keep you in this energy if you let the darkest fears work you over. All right, I think we're done. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.